Today we are going to put our tool to a use case. We import terrain via Blender OSM. You could also use BlenderGIS or any other tool or not tool to import your terrain. Place our roads, and then we go to the magic, which sets our parts a bit apart from a lot of the worst tracks out there. So let's get started. Basically where we left the last time. So if I go to the geometry node setup, right back here, I want to change two things. Firstly, if we check the face orientation on the top right, right here under the viewport overlays, face orientation, it's red. And red means it's facing the wrong side because the bottom should be red and blue should be upwards. So if we go to our road gen, we simply need to change the inputs from the curve line. So put the top socket to the bottom socket and you're done. You can see now, go into top view, blue and the bottom red. Good. Now I want to extend this as well. So let's go back here. I do want a wider road, but not as wide as the other ones. And especially I'm looking for the 2-lane setup. So let's put this down. We can also make a frame and rename these. Frame label, and let's call this wider road 2-lane. A bit bigger so we can see it. And we connect everything we did before, the mesh, the geometry to the mesh. Sorry, the lane width from multiplier. And this time we go with maybe 0.23, so it's just a little bit wider. Then we need to create a new vertex group. Let's just join the geometry here. Go back. To make this window bigger, by the way, I press Control plus spacebar. And let's also frame the other parts here. 3 lanes. Control J. 2 lanes. And a single lane. The same size, so it's just a little bit more visible for you. I would never make it that big, but or maybe I would. All right, now we go out of here. Let's add a new vertex group and call this 2-lane wider, or whatever the name is you need. We go back here. I can change this one to 2-lane wider and change the data type to integer back. We go back. I want to use this for some curves. For example, especially something like this. Let's remove 2-lane. Oh, it's 1-lane. Oh, it's 3-lane. Well then, let's take this part. Remove the 2-lane. 3-lane is float currently. Good to know. Double check that everything is in integer. Just a little bit simpler for us. Because then we can simply say, this part is 2-lane. and it does not extend over it. So let's and remove it from here. Add the wider one. Does not always work as intended, but you can. Is there a modifier in here? Have a look. Ah, it's doubled. Let's remove 2 lane. All right, and you can see it widens here. Let's make it a bit more real life use case-ish. Remove, I want these 3 parts to have the wider line and the other ones a simple 2 lane. Perfect. Especially in sharper turns, you usually have a bit more space. And that's what I tried to do with this one. I could make it wider. Well, not too wide, obviously. Maybe 2.5 even. See, this one is not connecting. Perfect. Now, I also do not want to... Oops, sorry. That's what I want to click. I do not want to import the whole thing here, because I changed the load value, which I missed before. Let's add that back. Otherwise, it should be fine. Good. Let's save it. But now, let's duplicate this as a backup. Backup. And now I will simply delete everything but a single vertex here. Or if we hide it, we have our road gen, which is a single vertex. Well, for better visibility, let's make it a 10-meter long road. And we have all the attributes, 1 lane, 2 lane, 3 lane, and the wider lane in this single usable part before in a way so we do not need to delete everything later again. So let's save it and let's open up a new blend file. Now that we fixed and extended our geometry node setup, let's open a new file. And firstly, we can bring it in. Or actually, I will bring it in later to show you an issue you can have and how to fix it. So we need Blender OSM or ArcGIS, depending on what you like more. I have Blender OSM installed. To install the add-on, you click on Edit, Preferences, Get Extensions if you're on 4.2. And before that, just add-ons. Click on Insert from Local Disk. Probably with Blossom it's the same, just install from local disk. A link is in the description. And also the link to the installation guide on how to get the ArcGIS access token. Because you need to get this one and also set a folder where your data is stored. After that, you click on Set, which will open a new browser window. And you simply... Let's go in here. That looks good. Let's take this cross section here and also include this little part here. drag and drop this. You can make this a little bit wider than bigger than you usually would, so you can use the terrain of it. Click on copy, go back to Blender, click on paste. Now let's start with the terrain and hit import. Scroll out, you will see it clips. To fix this, go to view and change the clip end to 2 more zeros, probably 1 million meters. This million, that's 100,000, but that's all right. We change to material preview. We do not have material. To fix this, go back to Blossom here. Change the data from terrain to image overlay. Arc your satellite and hit import. Right, beautiful, this works. And for this particular setup, it does look good. But as you can see here, there are instances where you cannot see the road. What do you do in that instance? I will simply always get the OSM Mapnik overlay. Click also import, wait a few seconds. It'll be a bit faster. And now we can always see the general direction of the road. It's sometimes not the most accurate way, but better than guessing. To change between the two, go to edit mode, go to the material, scroll upwards, and while all of them selected, click assign on one you want to use. Now let's go to make a new collection, call this road, and the first one terrain. We get our geometry node set up. Click on the little icon down here. Is it even the default? I don't know. If not, right click anywhere where your mouse pinches into these two arrows and horizontal split. And then I will change this one by clicking on the editor type to asset browser. If I bring this up so you can see it better, we'll change this to my assets. Depending on where you store it, there's a different text. For me, it's under my E drive under assets. That's why it's called assets. And I will drag and drop the road gen. Now bring this back down because I do not need this anymore. Now it's right here. We go to item right down. The rotation is 0, 0, 0, but sometimes, depending on where you drop it, you do have a rotation to it. And this will mess with the orientation of the road. Make sure this is 0. I will also put the location to 0, just because, I don't know, it feels cleaner to me. Then I can simply start. I can enable face snapping. And let's start right there. And follow our road. Make sure that you do not have too many points, because each point is a height point we can control. And to fix all of them, which we need to do manually, sadly, will take a bit if it's a lot. Now that's the base. Let's do the same thing from here. Also, here it starts to be wider. So here it starts to be a 3-lane from 2-lane. Make sure there's a vertex point. Also put one in the middle so I can match the height. And voila. Now these two are currently not connecting, which we can easily fix. And now we need, firstly, we can already start by matching the height of these two. And we need also one to the right and one to the left. So just duplicate this one, put it right here, Let's take the wireframe mode. And also make this a 1 lane. Disconnect the 2 lane and connect the 1 lane. The endpoints of 1 lane can be merged together. Just like this. And the same thing on the other side. So again, oops, take this point. So now you need to match them actually. So they will fit. And then same procedure as before. Press L and try to actually hit it. Disconnect the 2 lane, connect the 1 lane. Something like this. This looks good. And now we need to match the heights, which would be also easily done since the first disconnect, or not disconnect, dissolve them. Also one too many, dissolve them. Add a single point more for more control. And now go to side view or front view depending on the road and match them. Let's match these two as well. For these, they need to be way higher. Pull this one up a bit. And I think that's fine. Let's add a point in here as well. Or more like here. And I think we can push this one up a bit. And now we can see, for example, this one, we can move down to even it out, and here, one up, this one down a bit. Go to the other view. IT one we already fixed. Here simply smooth it out a bit. Let's simply smooth this one out. Something like this. One thing I forgot to add this little 1 lane thing. Enable snapping. Enable snapping, but with face selection. And it should be also 1 lane. And to connect them, simply connect it. Make these two flat and put them down. Something like this. Wonderful. Now this is our base. The base needs to be tested because if you have bumps in the road that you do not like, especially height changes, or something I do not want. Something like this. If we do have height changes that aren't supposed to be there, or bumps in here, we need to fix this first. So let's duplicate this once. Hide 1 layer. Call this one road. Add the subdivisions to 2. And apply this. Either right here with apply, Control A, or Control A in the viewport visual geometry to mesh. And now we need pits or empties. Let's add an empty with arrows. My face snapping is still turned on, and I will put this right there. Put this 1 meter above the ground. Rotate this around the x-axis by 90 degrees, y facing up, c is forward. And rotate it so c is forward, y up. Now rename this to AC pit underscore 0. Duplicate it with Shift D. And call the second one AC start 0. Now that's all we need to drive it. So select all of these. File, export, FBX. Let's delete the old one. I did a little mistake, that's why I recorded it today as well. So I do have a preset for Assetto Corsa. If you want one yourself, I limit it to selected objects, so only what I have selected will get exported. I want empties and mesh, but if I just click it, it will only select one, so hold Shift and click the other one. And the scale 0.01, and that's all. You can uncheck the animation, and on a preset, click on plus, type in your name, press OK. And now every time you click on the preset, it will load it. Export it. Open your CAS editor and open the track. Open FX and search for the track. Yeah, obviously we need materials. Well, obviously for me, maybe not for you. Click on new, call this road or asphalt. Doesn't matter. Export it again. And do the same thing. Now. Oops. You probably cannot see anything. So let's double click on AC pit 0 or start 0. So we move there. The illumination, let's change this to clear and PPX filter default. And now we are above the track. Now we need a material. I do have where is the P button there? I have a simple gray texture. Nothing fancy, just this. It's even a PNG, not even a DDS. It's just for testing. And I will just 0.2.200. Then I will save the track. To get a track, go simply to your Assetto Corsa folder, content, tracks, and copy any of the tracks. In the end, you will only need, well, don't know why I have an AI folder. To make it work, firstly, we only need a UI with the UI track JSON. So keep that file and simply open it with an editor. And change the, and disable this because that's wrong. Most of them is wrong, but the name and the description is what's important, and the country, so it's easier to find. Save it. And then we have only the UI folder with the UI track JSON and the track itself. You can delete the track because you're gonna make a new one anyway. So our folder looks like this. All lower cases, no upper cases. And just a UI with the UI track JSON in. Then I simply copied it, copy the location, the directory, and paste it in here. Now the file name needs to be the same as the track name. And then it's saved. And if we play on Go, we need to select it first. In my case, it's Germany, and the name I called Showcase Germany Geometry Node Tool. No preview picture, nothing, but that's cool. Select the car, press and go. And now we can drive it. Let's see if the height is correct. Jesus Christ, is this loud? So we are just looking for basic height changes. And especially here for bumps. Bumps that are annoying to us. Oh, but since it's all evened out, it's actually really good. Let's test the two connecting road things. Yeah, that's not supposed to go upwards, so we need to fix this. But otherwise, it looks really good. Let's see this one. This one is good all around. Okay, so only thing we need to change. So delete this one, go back to our road gen. Is here. Someone is they are going up, which is not supposed to be the case. And now that should be fine as well. Okay, save it. I just save it over the other file because, well, that's fucked anyways. Now we are, sorry, let's take a break. A minute break. And now the beauty of the tool, or the flexibility. You could leave it all like it is, but your road will be flat. And there are a few things a road does. Let me simply draw it. Firstly, now our road is simply flat. Let's say this is flat. But a road sometimes goes upwards, it goes downwards a bit. So this one goes downwards, this one goes upwards. Sometimes only one side is flat, the other one goes slightly to the bottom, or the other way around. And also a road is never that smooth. Sometimes we have different asphalt things, like here it goes a bit upwards. Well, hard to see, let's exaggerate it a bit. Or we have one side that has a new asphalt that goes downwards, maybe. Maybe we also have drainages, like sewer drains. And that's our next point. So we start with this one. First step. The second step is to make a general tilt, a general camber. So like number 2 is these two. Number 3 will be something we can change after that. Number 3 and number 4. This one is for later. Number 4 is a road is also used, so some parts are lower than others because of the weight of the cars that are driving over it. Especially, well, we can actually see it with the darker spots as well. So the darker spots are facing down, the brighter spots are actually a little bit higher. So let's draw this in here really quick. Yeah, let's take it red. These wider lines are higher, and they're also in here. They're all a bit higher up. So it's really a subtle effect, but it gives quite a lot to the track. So let's start with the first point. First point is what we currently have. So this one is done. Our second point is to get camber on the places we need. We could automate this and say that the track with a little bit of a curvature always tilts down to the inner side. But reroads are not that predictable. To some extent they are, but they are not that predictable. So I will duplicate this and apply it without the subdivision level. So now we have this one and we can change things. And I just saw I forgot something. Here, this part from here to there should be 3 lanes wide. So let's disconnect the 2 lane, insert the 3 lane, and assign a 2 lane right there. Also, this part should be 3 lane. Good that I made the mistakes, because mistakes are really normal at this stuff. With this stuff, sorry. And then we simply need to drag the points to where we want them. So they're connecting back. We need to check if the height is still correct, and this all looks good. All right, now we can fix it. Or not fix it, now we can apply it. So first of all, I do not like these ugly hard cuts. So I go to edge select mode. You can do this with 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3 because 4 is not existent. Select a few of them. Let's go take both sides. Loop tools and relax. Now, if you do not have loop tools, when you right click, go to edit, preferences. Preferences, get extensions, or for older versions, just add-ons and search for it. For the 4.2 version, search for extensions, type in loop tools, and install it. And I also want to add a higher acceleration, so relax. Let's go with 10. So it's just really smooths it out. Same part here. Let's smooth this part out. Wonderful. Probably also smooth these out. Let's see how hard. Maybe 1. Maybe none. Let's stay with none. Same thing for wherever the road widens. Let's see if I can simply select both sides. Did not work last time. That's why I didn't do it. Loop tools, relax. It does work. It just didn't work last time. All right, now we have a smooth road. Sadly, you need to do this manually, because if you would relax, for example, all the edges, this work? Wait. Let's see this real quick. Let's test. Oh. Well, changing the size did brick up this part. Let's apply this one more time. But now, let's see. We select all of these parts. Probably issue will be here. Right click, loop tools, relax. Let's deselect this part. Okay, even one more. That's awesome. That's even faster. That's a new one. Love it. All right, so we have done our first step. We can delete it. I don't even know how I can delete it. Not gonna lie. So let's take a red. Okay, never mind. Leave this blue. Add a new one. Button red. Suck. First one done. Second one. Get the general camber. So select our road. Select whatever wants should have camber. I will just put this one down a little bit. And then relax. Hold control, not shift. Right click, loop tools, relax. Probably all in my case. On other roads, it's a bit more work because, yeah, let's just add here one more. Let's put this one down, my point minus 0.2. Oh, 2-bit, please. It didn't even do it. I did fat finger, I guess. Let's put this down a bit. And relax this. Now this is step 2 done. Step 2 done. 3 camber to only one side. Now we need more geometry for this. So we can select all of them and subdivide, or because you want it smooth at the end, let's add a subdivision modifier. Change the under advanced, change the boundary smooth to keep corners, so our edges will be hard. I said hard. Yes, I'm that old. Apply it, and we have our loop cut in the middle always. Always a loop cut in the middle. And now, for example, if I want to only adjust the right side of the road, I can. Then again, smooth this out. Or relax this out. Which is quite extreme, but it's just to exaggerate it. And you can do this everywhere you want. So, also done. Number 4. Now we need more loop cuts. Probably one on each side. Which means we add one more subdivision surface modifier with the same settings as before and apply it. Now we can, select this part. Can I simply smooth this one out? Relax it? Nope. No matter. We can either put this one to the bottom or take the middle one and put this up. I still choose this one. And minus 0.1. My numpad was not minus 0.05 maybe. So 5 centimeters, which is quite a lot as well. And let's do the same thing for here, but only until maybe this spot. Minus 0.05. On the z-axis, obviously. All right. Next step done. Now for something a little bit more fun. Either a new type of road, which is quite simple. We either give it a bump, which could be done by simply adding a loop cut and then bevel it. But as you can see, it does a little bit of weird things. Or we select the parts that should be the different asphalt type, and we extrude this by maybe 0.02. Hide this part, press L on the old part, and delete it. Huh? We should delete the faces, not the vertices. My bad. And now we have this little cut in here, which we need to fill up again because we deleted them. And now we can bevel them. I use 2 loop cuts in there, and then we simply could maybe use 3. Yeah, let's use 3. Looks a bit off, but should be fine. Now, one part done. Let's say you want to have let's say here's a new asphalt patch on the on the right side. You could inset this. Hello? Oh, I press O, not I. But I want it to be on the right side. So let's select outset here. Let's do this one more time. Okay, let's go with 0.02. Click outset again. Don't ask me why. And let's pull this up a bit. Now we do need to add a loop cut right there. And probably also one at the top. And this one would be an asphalt patch. Which follows the other road. All right. Now we could test it. So call this one road. Select the pits and the road. Export it. I'll make sure this one has a texture because I know it doesn't. Export it. FBX. Select your preset, or if Blender didn't close, it's still selected. Save the persistent in the KS editor if it's still open. If not, well, you need to do the materials again. File, save recent files. And track. I can simply save it because nothing changed material-wise. Do you hear the music, by the way? No, good. Thank God. Otherwise, this would be terrible. Now, if we drive this, we have an exaggerated, yeah, everything's a little bit exaggerated. The bumps we are not even having. And boop boop. Nice. Was probably high as fuck. No, it's actually good. Oh, let's just do it like in real life. Yep. I'm driving like a god. There are 2 bumps I do not like. Yeah, that's because this one. Let's relax. First of all, get rid of these. If we simply relax these 2, loop tools, relax. Should be better already. Same on this part. Should be a bit better. Not perfect, but better. And now we need to create the bumps for the road. So the first thing I will add to the visual road, which this will be, is a displace modifier. Not a decimate, a displace. So deform, displace. Add a new texture and call this big ripples. I go to texture, change the type to clouds, and I want to bump the size up by a lot. So, it stops at 2. So, badumpt. Yeah, exactly. Let's add German in here. God damn it. So just type it in, 80. And if we toggle this, you can see that there are some bumps in there. Maybe 80 is even too little. Let's go with 120. Good. Now the strength, go to 0.1. So we have a subtle up and down going on. Now to get the actual road, because this one is just what we are seeing, we will add, oh wait, sorry. Wait, I want to add one more thing, which is missing on a lot of tracks. Sewer drains. So, for example, if we want a sewer drain right here, well, firstly we need a texture for sewer drains. I will add image, plane as mesh. I already have it right here. Just search them, take them yourself. It's not a lot of work. And we should probably take them to the correct size, but press V to disconnect them. So now we have 2 parts. On the right, go to options, in edit mode, correct face attributes. And now we can simply move this let's move this one. Hello. Let's move this one out of the way. Move this one in. Now this one needs to be round, because otherwise it will not. If we simply set circle now, it doesn't work because you don't have enough geometry. So let's select it and subdivide it 2 times. That's enough. And now right click, loop to a circle. Now we can scale it and unwrap it. Make sure it fits. Yep, that's good. Now I will disable the correct face attributions and scale this one up a bit, because this one should be bigger than the other one. Now if you simply add a shrink wrap, project, and use the road, we go into edit mode, select for example this one, put it above any road, we can see it fits. Let's see, we want, thank you. For example, here I want one. And let's also put one of the round ones in. Duplicate it and move it to a place. Maybe a bit bigger, like this. And then after you're done, you can apply this. So now they're in the place they're supposed to be. But they're not part of our road. And that's what we need to change. So I pull them up by 0.1 and extrude them downwards. So they're fitting the road. Now this will fuck with the topology a lot. And we need to clean this up manually. Select the road. Type in Boolean. And select our sewer drains. Now if you hide this, change the solver to fast. And it looks like they are facing the wrong directions. If we look at the face orientations, yep, they're red. Huh? Oh, I'm not in edit mode. Edit mode, Shift plus N, recalculate the norms, and now exactly they are now facing down. They should face down. Excuse me. Let's pull them up a bit. Does this fix it? Well, let's take a hole. I'll take a hole all day. And let's apply it. Now the problem is we need to manually adjust these points, connect them on each of these faces. And now if we shade it smooth, this looks absolutely terrible. So let's add a bevel here. And you can see it's already not working again. And that's simply because this is an angon. Add a loop cut in there. Now try the same thing again and it should look better already. But as you can see, something is off right there. And that's because there are too many vertices in one place. So as you can see, I didn't merge them. Let's merge them by distance. And now there should be, yep. Now we do have this one done and we can delete the bottom face. Now on this part it's a little bit more tricky because we have a lot more faces. First, move these and merge them together. So we can select all of them, pull them down, press Ctrl plus, and bevel them. So now we can either do this manually or select all of these, press faces. Well, maybe not all of them, but you can select all of them. And dissolve only faces. Now you can select all of the edges here and press Alt plus F, sorry. Now it also did put in this one, press C, select the faces, and delete the faces. It's not the perfect method because you can see some things going a bit weird now. But it's barely noticeable. Now let's bring these sewers back. We only want the top face. So let's delete this one. Also this one. On this one the same. And pull them down so they fit into our hole. And now we have a sewer drain. Wonderful. How long is already going? Okay, I can really fast go over the real road. Now this is our visual road. Let's duplicate this and call this road. And this one is our real road. Our sewer drains are also a drivable surface, so one road. I will call this just drains. Sorry. Now for our one road, let's only select this one with Shift plus H. Now we need to subdivide this. So if we subdivide this with more geometry here, which is okay, the biggest problem is right here. We have way too much on the edges. So what I will actually do, I will dissolve edges right there. And probably also in here. Something like this. So it's probably still a lot, but let's subdivide it 2 times. And then add a displace modifier. The big ripples, we do not need them because we already did them. We now want small bumps. But it's the same procedure, clouds, size, you can choose it, doesn't matter. You need to be happy with it. And now the strength. So the general rule of thumb is 0.00 something. Probably 0.01 is already quite an extreme bumpy surface, even though it looks quite decent. And important for us to look at these as they look good. If you make them too big, it messes up a lot. So 0.01 is good in that case, I think. We can test it. So select both roads, the pit boxes and your sewer drains, or unhide all of them. File, export FBX. Save it. Open your case editor. Restart it if it's still open. And open the file again. Now there's something missing in the process. I don't know why. Yeah, close it. For the road, now we have the bumps. Let's actually make a backup, call this backup, hide it, and then we apply the modifier in here. Now we want not this type of geometry. Either firstly, it's way too much and unnecessarily too much. So we add a decimate modifier and put this down. I usually go with maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we need to double check for our features. So up and down the middle parts where the road bends from the weight looks fine because we have these lines in here. It would be nice to know where I did it. Let's unhide the visual road. Right there. Yes, it's also right there. Perfect. I like it. I will apply this. Unhide these and we'll test it. Export FBX and open it in our case editor. Let's move top so we can see what's going on because we need to change something in here. You can see the road comes through the visual road, but we do not want to see the road. We want to see only the visual road, the visual renderable balls 41 road. And now we can save track and test it out. Let's see. Bit bumpy. Oh, maybe hard to see on your screen, but it's a little bumpy, which is supposed to be. We have the little bumps. We have this bump, which I like. We have our sewer drains. This one. This one. We could also put them above, obviously. Just wanted to put them into the ground. And also this part also works brilliantly. Right, the next topic will be the sides of the road. So curb zones, grass edges, pedestrian walks, and all of the variations with guardrails, without guardrails. We're going to use a similar tool, which you can just simply say, okay, from here to there, I want, for example, guardrails, maybe just a grass edge with polars, or pedestrian walk. I don't know, whatever you want to put in there. I hope you liked this one, and I hope I see you on Monday, where we build the next tool. See you there. Thanks for watching and have fun.